Well, I've moved the camera out of the way a bit. I've wheeled the MIG welder over. Doesn't matter what sort of welder you have, I've got a good earth on here. So I'm just going to crank the welder up flat. I've only got a little 175 amp MIG. I'll just see. Might help if I turn the welder on properly. I'll just pull a little bit of an arc and see how many herbs we got going. And look, that looks fine. So what we're going to do, we're going to weld right around the bearing here. And if you know, when you weld something, welds often pull. So what happens when you put a nice hot weld in and let it cool, it actually pulls, and we should be able to lift that bearing out with our fingers once we're done. So I'll just give ourselves a bit of earth lead so we can turn it as we go, and we'll go from there. Alright, we'll stop it and turn it so I can get it lined up again. That should be enough. Now we'll let that cool. I might go up the house and have a cuppa, and when I come back we'll work on popping that out. Okay, I've been up for a cuppa and a bloody leak and pat the dog and do all that sort of stuff, but I haven't touched this bearing, but that will be loose. Oh yeah, look at that. So beautiful. So by welding it like we did, that surface that we welded on was buggered anyway, and then that gives us the opportunity to read the bearing numbers if we're not getting them from Massey Ferguson or Sparix or something. And the number on that is Timken 3920, made in England. So that axle now, we've got everything out of it that we need. So nothing to stop us from taking that out the back and degreasing it and giving it a good pressure clean. And that it has a gasket around here, a paper gasket. So we'll take all that off. I'll have to remember to order that. And that's it. Easy as that. Well, now we've committed to fixing it up properly in the back end here, and we found our crook diff bearings. I'm just going to run through the same process on this side, but I probably won't film it. I'll only film the highlights or something different. Now, on this axle here, you can see at some stage in its life, it's had the big screws that hold the brake drums broken off in there. And they're both sheared off, so I'm not sure what's going on there, so I'll have to deal with that and get them out. We have our own mud dauber wasp nest in here. Now everyone wants one of them in your brakes. The brake drum looks pretty good. There's a slight little ridge there, but look, that just doesn't matter. Yet this side looks like it has new brake linings on it. We've got a good meat all the way around. So, yes, I don't know. Someone might have just been in this one side once, or who knows. These old tractors, they're 60 years old. Well, 1957, and it's so 61 years old roughly, so who knows what's gone on. And I've had it for the last 12, I believe it was 12 or 13 years I've owned the tractor. But yeah, just interesting. So I'll pop the axle out again, and I'll undo the bolts here and the arms and the top arms there, same as I did on the other side. And if I come across anything of interest, I'll grab the camera. On this tractor on the left hand side, we have a long stud here at the top and another long one down the bottom, but someone's had it apart one time and all the studs are coming out. And the brake linings were very good, so I'm suggesting that it's been apart at some stage, and I don't know whether these are long studs. I'll find out. I'll measure them up with the other ones, and I'm not sure whether they haven't been put in properly, but I'm thinking they might be long, because where you normally just have a stud and a spring washer, there's a flat washer here as well to make up the distance, I believe. So anyway, if they're too long, we'll make some newies. Right, now there's the difference. There's a good 5mm difference from this one, the standard one, to the one that's been replaced at some stage. And if you line the tops up, you can see the bottom. So there's only so much thread at each end. So I'd say what we'll do with the long ones, we'll pop them in the lathe, we'll run the thread down a little bit further, and we'll make them match the other ones, and we'll dress the end off to make them all even. Well, we have the left side bearing off, or the housing off, and that bearing's a beauty. A few slight little bruise marks, but nothing major at all, which is a little odd, but I do feel this side's been taken off before. But see, when your pinion turns and turns your crown wheel, well, it pushes this way. So this would be the bearing that you would think took all the load. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. I know this side has been apart before. Yeah, but everything else looks good. I'll pop this diff out. I might put you on handheld for a minute, and we'll pop the diff out and see what it looks like. Okay, I've got a couple of axle stands around, and under here I've got an axle stand that picks up the studs right there. I've got another one over the back here that probably does a bit of a tap, but anyway, they're looking good. So all we do is come on in. I'm on the stool, and this should just slide out like a beauty. There you are. I'll rock it onto my knees. Lift him away. Sit him on the floor. Look, our pinion looks lovely. That brake Welsh plug. Oh, here it is. There you go. Bargain. So it must have just got pushed in too far one time. That's it, so it's been sitting up in there. It's a flat Welsh plug. I haven't measured them yet, But I'll use that again. I'll just Loctite it in, save buying a new one. And this side here, you can see it's remarkably clean. And look, whether that's from the crown wheel sloshing the oil around and keeping it clean, or whether this side's been off and cleaned at some stage, who knows. It's hard to say, but look, we'll put new crown wheel bearings on it. I might slide the PDO out and do a PDO seal seams with this far down, and we've got the oil out. And we'll clean the housings up, and at this stage we'll be waiting for parts. Right, I've been up for another cuppa now. Should have a beer, anyway. I never feel like doing it. There's that other bearing, it comes out the same. So all we have to do now, to get that other seal out the other end, we can come in through this end here, and I've got a bar that I use. The bloody pump again. You can feel where the seal is. Come on the other side. That should be out. And there it is on the ground. Alright, now it's off to clean everything up for a while, so yeah, this will take quite a bit. I've got a lot to do. Clean up these housings, pressure clean them, get all the rubbish out, make sure the gasket surfaces are clean. So that should fill in my afternoon, by the look of it. Look, while we're here, the tractor looks a different colour because we're actually facing the light. I've just loosened this off, the PDO cover. Now that's been on, it's been on ever since I've had it. Holy, look at that. Have you ever seen such a rusty PDO shaft? I suppose you have. Looks like the seal hasn't been leaking though. The seal seems good. But anyway, that's the pressure pump kicking in now and then. This must have a tiny leak somewhere. Anyway, look, that PDO shaft, it's had just very little wear on it. But now I've seen that, I'll probably pop it off here and just tidy it up anyway. Perhaps put a new seal in. The bearing looks good. And yeah, just tidy it up. Might put a heap of grease over it or something like that.